Good morning, everybody, from the beautiful Austin, Texas. Look at that view out there. Use the 360 camera. Check out that gorgeous view down this sloping mountain road here. Today I'm doing a bit of a PSA. I'm going to talk about why you should not ride while emo. But in a broader context, I want to talk about how riding can be a lifelong pursuit. And please don't cut your riding career short. I'm seeing a bit of a trend on short form. I'm getting it sort of fed to me via Discord and other people kind of saying these things to me, that there is a trend of a certain type of young sport bike rider that is going out and, kind of making this more emotionally driven type of content where they'll go out on their sport bike, they'll put some like really mellow, cheesy, plunky kind of music, synthwave or something like that. And, they'll put the caption like, "What if I didn't come back tonight?" And it's them, like riding way too fast at night and just being kind of crazy. And, just overall riding in a way that is not advisable. Look, I know that it's kind of like kids will be kids, but I would not want to be 19 years old with all of the hormones and emotions and feelings that come with that and have access to a 190 horsepower super bike. Probably not a good combination. Because here's the thing, if I have any young person watching this video right now who finds themselves in a similar position to that, whatever girl you're worried about, because let's be real, it's a bunch of dudes posting this stuff, whatever girl you're worried about, man, I promise you, in like 2 years, maybe even 1 year, you won't even think about this chick. Statistically speaking, it's very unlikely that your high school sweetheart or your college girlfriend is going to be that important to you in even a couple of years. When I was in high school and college, like my early years, I had this relationship with this girl, in high school, and then we went to different colleges, and it was so dramatic and emo. Dude, now, with the passage of time, brother, I never think about that anymore. Like, 12, 13, 14 years later, whatever it is, I absolutely never ponder, like, what could have been, bro? Me and this chick, man, we're going to be forever. So that's the first thing I would say is take a step back, understand that the position you're in right now, with whatever girl you're thinking about, probably not all that important. The second part of it is more of a motorcycling specific part of it, right? We talk a lot on this channel about making good choices when you ride, right? There's best practices. You guys see me, I love having fun with my bikes, but there are best practices, right? Choosing the right place, right time, not overdoing it with speed, always wearing a helmet, riding during the day, having rider training. Like, these are all just kind of check marks, right? The one that I think we don't focus a lot on, but we should, is not riding while you're emotional. If you guys will allow me to, I will open up to you a little bit about riding emotional. The very first year that I got my motorcycle, that was back in 2015, I got my Yamaha R3. The story goes that, I wanted to show my dad a video of me riding my motorcycle safely because he was in Brazil at the time, and I wanted to show him that I was being safe. And he actually passed away before he ever saw a single video of mine. It was super traumatic the way that he died, and I had to work through a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings. My mom had already passed away before that point too, so I was, 22 years old, and I didn't have any more parents, which is extremely difficult. Looking back on it now as an older man, I wouldn't wish what I went through upon anybody. I was not at an age to be on my own like that. All I had was my brother, who was 3 years older than me, who could offer some guidance and stuff, but just a very difficult moment. Now, I remember many times I would go out on my motorcycle and I would ride in a way that I was kind of like, I don't really care what happens, It wasn't necessarily suicidal, but it was sort of like indifferent to a type of suicidal riding. And I'm really happy nothing worse happened to me back in those early years of riding a motorcycle, because the prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until you're at least 25 years old. To be honest, I think 27 for some of us males. It takes a long time to be able to make really good decisions and calculated decisions and not take things too emotionally. And this is why I'm a big advocate of talking to people, even seeking professional help when it's required. And, about a year ago, I decided to seek some help for some problems I was having in my personal life. And I became a better husband, a better father, a better man after seeking help. And if you're feeling emotional, don't seek what we call throttle therapy. Go to actual therapy. Try to speak out to a loved one and, get a hug, man. Like, have somebody listen to your problems. It's not worth it to jump on your motorcycle and ride in this way that is super dangerous and super, super misguided, I think is the word I'd like to use there. There's unfortunately a component to this phenomenon that is also driven by social media. Those types of posts get engagement, they get sort of a lot of clicks and people comment a lot and stuff because a lot of people are feeling very isolated, very lonely, very anxious right now. And for a lot of people, they feel very seen if they see stuff like that. But I promise you, it's not the right way to go about it. You're going to feel so much better if you simply go talk to somebody or work through your problems than chasing a dopamine rush on social media. And, as a bit of a corollary to this, it's just not very, I see a lot of this on the motorcycle side of the internet. There's a kind of machismo about going really fast and, riding recklessly and all this sort of stuff. I gotta be honest, there's nothing alpha or cool about going really fast in a straight line with a leader bike when you're crying about your high school girlfriend. That is not alpha behavior. I don't even believe in the alpha, beta, sigma, whatever the hell frameworks that people use to rope people into their weird grifter courses or whatever's happening online. But I'll tell you this, what is alpha? Being alpha is helping the weak people around you, uplifting those who are downtrodden in your society, being a good husband, a good father, a good brother, a good friend, being kind. That's alpha, Riding a super bike super fast and trying to commit sewer slide is not alpha. And I really hope that you get the help that you need. Because riding genuinely can be an incredible mental health help. I find that I'm at peace when I ride my motorcycle. It centers me. It makes me feel really good. I really enjoy the sort of different types of riding I get to do. I get to get my aggression and anger out on track. I come back on road and I'll do big 5-hour rides on the Touareg, go out and see some scenery, listen to some good music. Riding a motorcycle is such a gift in today's world. It's an opportunity to step away from the screens, to step away from your environment, to go touch some grass and be outside and meet some friends. Don't let riding a motorcycle become an avenue for self-destruction. Riding a motorcycle can be incredibly constructive, right? You could ride a motorcycle and become a much better person. But, these things at the end of the day, they're just tools, man. They're just machines. They are cold, unfeeling, and incredibly unforgiving of stupid decisions and bad mistakes. You can take any motorcycle and make extremely poor choices and end up in a really bad situation. Or you can ride a motorcycle to its fullest and enjoy and have it construct more in your life. Because to me, every time I'm on the bike, and not to get too cheeseball or corny here, but it genuinely feels like a privilege and a gift. Like I get to cruise on up to Yamanoob HQ or go run some errands or, go and enjoy a big long ride or go out on track. Every time I get to swing a leg over a bike, I'm like, wow, dude, I'm so lucky I get to do this. This is so much fun. So to the younger members of my audience watching this video right now, I know that a year can seem like a long time, 2 years can seem like an infinite time span, 5 years might seem like, oh my God, what's even gonna happen in 5 years? But I promise you it's not even that much time, man. A year in the grand scheme of things, it's not much time. And if you're feeling highly emotionally charged, I'd recommend leaving the bike keys on the table. Leave them there, don't touch them. It's not a good idea to ride when you're feeling so animated and, emotionally charged. Because if you do this hobby right, you have many, many years that you'll be able to plunk down in the saddle, enjoy different kinds of riding. And, you know, I've seen a lot of guys too where, you know, maybe you don't consistently ride for 10 years, 20 years, but maybe it's something you pick back up later in life when you're more ready or more financially capable or whatever it may be. Don't put yourself in a position to, you know, end your life in a way that doesn't need to happen. Because a lot of times the stuff that I see where people crash and, you know, it's these like really silly high-speed crashes and stuff. I'm like, dude, all of this was completely preventable. And now you have a life-altering injury or situation. And I speak from experience. I don't like mentioning it too much on the channel because I honestly don't think it's that relevant. But I did suffer from a really bad crash when I was a younger man, making some really poor decisions. And I've lived it. I've gone through it. Made terrible mistakes, paid terrible prices for it, and at the end of the day, it brought me to where I am here, and I'm very happy to be here. But if that didn't need to happen, that would have been a lot better, obviously. I would have highly preferred to live in a world where that didn't happen. But in a way, I understand the nihilism that, you know, younger people feel. But honestly, nihilism is a cope. Nihilism is an incredibly easy way out of your situation. Do you know what's harder? Do you know what's more, I guess, punk or positive? It's having optimism, man. Believing that things are going to get better. Trying, actually putting effort in. That's really where the fun lies, and that's really where life is best lived. But I know, talking to teenagers is a losing battle, but hopefully I've convinced somebody on watching this video. Hopefully the next time that you want to go ride your motorcycle and you're feeling highly emotionally charged, you just don't do it. It's not worth it, man. Well, boys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about this topic. I'd love to hear from you. Let's create the comments in this video to be a fun space, a kind space to share some stories about this topic. If you've made content like that, let me know down below as well. If you've seen what I'm talking about, let me know. And hopefully we can make motorcycling a safer and more inclusive space. And I really do appreciate you watching today's video. Thanks so much for the support. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.